Okay, there's no other big stories to start today's business morning than the massive 33.386 billion listing of BUA Cement PLC on the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Thursday. Welcome our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world. I am Bosin Nomofaye and we're starting today's business show on that note. The market was ramped up massively yesterday, 1.18 trillion naira, giving the Nigerian stock market a very big splash to start the new year and raising the game or the tough war among the top three cement makers in Nigeria. Dangote Cement sitting in the number one, BUA Cement now sticking itself in the middle and pushing Lafarge WAPCO into the third position. You have the three largest cement makers in Nigeria now listed on the market. That's BUA Cement officials yesterday making the very big entry into the market. You bring in 1.2 trillion to the market, you get a lot of handshakes with the brokers and of course the top officials of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So today we've got BUA Cement joining the game, coming from a private sector, a private company, pulling his way through with a business combination with the cement company of Northern Nigeria based in Sokoto State. BUA Cement has a combined capacity of nearly 8 million metric tons cement, one in Sokoto State and the other in Edo State. And the company says that's a strategy to lock the cement market in the north, where you have a major consumption, and in the southern part of the country. All this as you see Nigeria's cement GDP up strongly in the third quarter GDP numbers, which we received last from the MBS. If we get to the fourth quarter, we expect the cement subsector to continue on that growth trajectory. And this is what the Managing Director and CEO of BUA Cement PLC, Yusuf Binji, says yesterday during a short interview at the end of the closing bell.
2019 has been very good for us. It has been a challenging year in Nigeria. You know, the economic environment is very challenging, but we thank God that with our two plants in Sokoto and Obu, we have done tremendously well. As at the end of the year, we have been able to produce over 4.5 million metric tons of cement. This represents about 20% of the total national demand. And mind you, our second production line in Edo State actually came into operation during the middle of 2019. So that is actually not the full year performance. So definitely in 2020, we are expecting to do close to 6 million tons. As you know, our factories have the best capacity utilization of all the cement plants in Nigeria, operating at close to 85% of the installed capacity, and that is way above the national average. So we have a bright future in 2020, and the two combined entities, I think by the time we release our results after they are audited, you will see we have had a combined turnover of over 180 billion naira and earnings and returns of after tax of more than 65 billion naira. So these are unaudited figures, but definitely we are talking close to that. CCNN had been a listed entity for quite a long time. Obu Cement, which is the bigger of the two entities, was a privately limited liability company, and that's commenced operation in 2015. And of course, we were still building. So we just waited for some time before we could actually come into the market and combine these two entities. And as they say, the journey of 1,000 miles begin with a small step, but we decided to take a giant step to come into the market at this time. So as of today, you know, we are the third largest company on the floors of the exchange by market capitalization. And that is really going to add a lot of value to the shareholders and also to Nigerians as a whole.
Yusuf Binji, the Managing Director and CEO at BUA Cement PLC. We're going to hear more from the company in the days ahead and, of course, from analysts later on the program today. What does it all mean for Nigeria's cement industry, now largely indigenous, in the pockets of indigenous business groups within the country? That's the story